All right, sixth graders, we're going to take a look at seventh grade 5-a-day, starting with Monday, number 1. So rewrite the sentence without the dangling or misplaced modifier. So a dangling modifier modifies no word because the word that should be there technically is missing. So it's dangling. A misplaced modifier is a word, phrase, or a clause that appears to modify the wrong word. So, hungry after being in class all morning, the cafeteria was filled with students. So, that is a misplaced modifier because it seems to be that you are modifying or telling more about the cafeteria being hungry. So, it's just kind of out of order. It should say the cafeteria was filled with students who were hungry after being in class all morning. So just kind of switching the parts of the sentence around, or the modifiers and the verbs or nouns around to make more sense. Number 2, identify the type of connotation. So we've done this before in sixth grade. We've had positive and negative, but now we add neutral. So this one, because it's somewhat subjective, you may have different answers, but for me, elegant has a positive connotation, ostentatious has a negative connotation, and fine has kind of that neutral connotation. For number 3, we've seen this before on 5th grade and 6th grade. So meetings between the two senators are outwardly calm and friendly. In fact, many people would describe their relationship as pleasant. Inside, however, both people are seething with rage. It is just a matter of time until one of them explodes. So seething means to be upset or in a state of great excitement. For number 4, we've seen this as well. Look for a synonym for the word dynamic. So a synonym for the word dynamic is changing. Like we've talked about maybe in literature before, a dynamic character, a character that changes from the beginning of the novel to the end of the novel. An antonym would be stagnant, meaning not changing, staying the same. For number 5, we've seen this again as well in 6th grade. Sort the word by its prefix, im, its root. Actually, that should be a base word because polite is a word by itself. Polite, and the suffix ly. So im meaning not polite, ly an adjective, an adverb meaning done in a not polite way. I didn't highlight anything because there is no quiz this week. For Tuesday, number 1, simplify the sentence by eliminating any wordiness or redundancies. So city inspectors are in the process of currently reviewing the construction site and may completely close it down in about 2 to 3 days. So there's some words that are just kind of redundant. So city safety inspectors are currently reviewing, which basically means the same thing as in the process, the construction site, and may close it down in 2 to 3 days. So we can get rid of some of the words in there to just make the sentence more concise. Number 2, circle the misspelled word. The misspelled word here is accomplishment. It should be ACCOMPLISHMENT. For number 3, same thing we've seen in 6th grade before. We are looking for the figure of speech. And it seems to me that you lived your life like a candle in the wind. Very famous song lyric by Elton John. This is a simile. We are comparing the way somebody lived their lives to a candle in the wind, and we are using like, so that makes this a simile. What does it mean? It means a person's life seems fragile and easily affected by his or her environment, easily killed or blown out if the environment, the wind, gets too intense. And for number 5, is the following a phrase or a clause? If it is a clause, indicate if it is independent or dependent. So a phrase contains a noun or a verb, but it doesn't have both. It's just a part. Remember that a independent clause can stand alone. It can be a sentence by itself. A dependent clause cannot. It has to have other parts to it. So this is a phrase because I have a noun here, but I don't have a verb. I have no action word. So this is just a phrase. Again, I didn't highlight anything because there's no quiz for this week. It's just so that you can get a look at what just 7th grade grammar standards will look like.